Welcome to Shellphone, the podcast that gives the ocean its very own hotline. Joining us today is Cameron Shaw. Very excited to have you here today.
I'm so excited! Thank you, Harmony.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here. Before we jump into all the things that we're going to talk about, can you just give a little introduction to yourself, what you do, who you are?
I'm Cameron. I'm a PhD student at the University of Miami. I'm in my third year. Good Lord. I actually apply for candidacy tomorrow.
Wow.
I know. Like, that's jump scare for
That's
real.
really soon.
Yes, and my focus is in marine science, conservation, and education. So I was mostly in marine conservation. It's such a broad field that it's kind of nice that you don't have to like choose certain species that you focus on. So now I'm just jumping into the education space, and I get to hang out with Gen Z and all those little kids, and they teach me really cool things to be hip, and it's super fun.
I feel like you would fit right in and be able to blend among the kids.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about that then. Did you kind of start wanting to be involved in the education aspect, or is that something you kind of figured out later on and are now getting more into?
Yeah, honestly, it was very late that I noticed that I wanted to get into education. I originally wanted to do rescue and rehab after I watched Dolphin. I was like, no, I need to rescue Winter. I need to rescue all her friends. I wanted to do rescue and rehab so bad. And going into my master's program, that was kind of my mindset. Until Dr. Maria Cardellano, who you had on the podcast, so crazy, love her. She reached out to me because she was my professor one semester, and she was like, I'm hosting this really awesome outreach event with Dr. Jill Richardson, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. And it was, so in the master's program, you take your classes and you have like an internship at the end, and that's kind of what your research is about. Mm-hmm. So I had already accepted an internship with Island Dolphin Care, which is, I don't know if you've heard, it's in the Keys, and it's like you work with dolphins there, and they specialized in students with disabilities. So they were using, it was like animal support, but it was like through dolphins. It was so cool. And then Dr. Cardellano was like, come do this with me. And I'm like, well, shoot, like, sure. So that kind of kickstarted it for me. And I truly fell in love with the fact that kids that lived so close to the ocean didn't have access to the ocean, and it blew my mind, especially growing up in Chicago. Like, I could relate to that. Yeah. And so I just fell in love with how excited they were to be there, and how, like, I don't know, they just, like, fell in love with the fact that the ocean is right by their fingertips. And I think that's what keeps me going, is just, like, knowing that I could inspire even just one student, one child, and that could be what brings them into the marine science field.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think also people who do grow up really close to the water, there can still be a disconnect with looking at the water from the outside and then actually being able to explore, like, what's going on in there.
Oh, totally. Like, especially because some of them are so scared, too. They're like, there's sharks in there, I'm not going.
Oh, gosh. The sharks thing.
I know. You know what? To be fair, I'm terrified of bull sharks, so.
Yeah, I mean,
like, they're great, but also.
There are some sharks where it kind of makes sense, but still, I'm, like, always, if I hear anyone say anything bad about sharks, I'm like, no, they're not like that.
No,
I promise.
Also, right,
like,
exactly.
They're really cool.
They're cool, but also I'm terrified. Don't tell anybody.
Like, maybe don't put your hand in their mouth, but.
No, exactly. That's why I only collect shark teeth, like fossilized teeth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be put in there with the sharks. Sorry. I like work in shark education too, and I'm still scared. But honestly, it's like, not being scared, but like being respectful and knowing that that's like their environment and we're not there to mess. And so, I don't know. It's that tricky part of life, you know?
Yeah. At the Discovery Center where I work, we also have snakes, and people have the same kind of like feeling about snakes and sharks. Yeah. And what I tell them is, like, snakes only bite people when they're like being threatened, or if you're reaching out to grab them, that's when the majority of bites happen. So if you just don't reach out to grab a snake or like step on it or, impede on its space, then they're not going to hurt you.
Oh my God, that's like my cat. Like, she will come for my throat.
Literally.
You just got her wrong. But, like, wait, what kinds of snakes do you work with?
Our whole thing is native Florida animals.
Okay, period.
So, yeah, we don't have any venomous ones. So, even if they did bite you, it would be fine.
And you just handle them? Like, it's no problem?
Yeah. I mean, we use them for outreach. So, we bring them to kids, and then they get to, like, meet the snake.
Girl, you were like the girl version of Robert Irwin. This is what's coming in right now.
Well, by we, I mean the other people on my team and not specifically me, but I'm there, like, in the background.
Yes, I love that.
I do love when I get to hold a snake, though.
I don't think I've ever held a snake. And my
Really?
dad, like, had a boa constrictor in our house. It was
What?
That's what I'm saying.
And you didn't, like,
Oh,
interact
hell
with
no.
it?
I'd be like downstairs and like, like, we would feed it, like,
gosh.
live rats.
Yeah.
What? No. I've seen, like, some of these, like, will literally kill, like, massive animals.
Yeah. If they're, like, the Burmese pythons a little further south, Florida, like, they can get gigantic.
I know, and people are, like, taking them out of the Everglades.
Yeah, because they're super invasive, so they're eating everything else. And I just learned all about that. We went on a little, like, work field trip to a place that, like, catches them. It has, like, a program about like
that's super cool.
python removal. And so I learned all about them, and
oh my God,
we saw, like, a snake skin from a Burmese python.
How big
and
was it?
It was like more than twice my height, I would say.
I'd be sick.
They're gigantic.
I'd be sick.
So they can eat gigantic things. Like, they'll eat whole birds, like,
wait,
whole deer.
Where
They'll
they come
eat
from?
deer. Did you know that?
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Where did they come from? Why are they invasive?
That's a great question. I believe that it was, like, in introduction. So they were released. This is happening with ball pythons. They're like kind of the most popular snakes to have as pets, but people will then release them when they get too big. So I think maybe it's a similar thing with the Burmese pythons.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Oh
people
my
do the same
God.
thing with goldfish.
I know.
They release them and then they get gigantic. I was going to ask, you do a lot of, like, diving around Florida, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever seen lionfish while you're out there?
Oh my God, they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Which it's really cool because a lot of dive shops across Florida will do this, like, competition of, like, how many lionfish can you catch? And then they'll, like, grill them, people will eat them, or they'll take their fins and make jewelry out of them, which is so cool.
Yeah, they're spines.
But when I was in the Bahamas last week, they were there too. But they were a different color out there. They were, like, dark, deep red rather than, like, the stripes. And they were small, too.
Okay.
So then I'm like, they're going crazy out there. They're the unwanted in the marine world.
Yeah. They're the, like, big... If we're going to talk about invasive species in the
Let's
ocean,
talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
Lionfish.
Exactly. No, and they're, like... They're not even scared of people with spears. Like, it's crazy. They do not care.
You can just swim right up to them and get them.
But they're so beautiful.
They are. So
Didn't
we call them
from the aquatic trade?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're called the beautiful invaders because that's everybody's, like, reaction. They're beautiful, but then they have a million eggs at a time and they eat everything and
Oh, see, I love learning about invasive species because it's like they really are here to dominate.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
nuts.
if you just come into an ecosystem where there's not something that's going to kind of balance out your population, then it's free ground for the taking, kind of.
I mean, I'm like,
which is terrible. But
I know, it's terrible. But, I mean, it is cool to educate, though. Like, I feel like a lot of people will see that fish when they're scuba diving. Well, I feel like a lot of scuba divers know, but for someone that doesn't see that type of fish, they're like, oh, my God, look at this beautiful fish. You know, like, it looks so beautiful. But, oh, yeah, no, they're the worst. They've got to go.
Yeah.
I have not speared one, though. Have you?
No.
I kind of want to do it. Have you seen those, like,
the
zookeeper
tubes
things?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me a pink one. I want to go out there.
I'm planning, like, a lionfish program thing right now, and in my head I've been like, where can I get one of these tubes so that I can show people, like, what it looks like? And so this has been on my mind.
Yeah, no, I will come with you. That sounds so much fun. Are you a diver?
No. I know.
Oh, Harmony,
don't look at me.
Canceled. You need to get certified.
I know.
Do you like to snorkel, though, and free dive?
You know, I can't say that I have tried.
Okay, cancel the podcast. We're going outside.
I would like to. The last time I put on a snorkel, my brain did not compute. But I want to try again. It didn't work.
The brain was not working. You know what, though? It is kind of scary for the first time.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't feel comfortable with, like, breathing out of a different apparatus.
Yeah.
Like, it's so scary.
And I always thought that the tube has to be sticking up out of the water, but it's in the water, right? Like, fully in the water.
It's, like, half in, half out. Like, your face, right, is in the water, and then the other half is out.
So if, like, the top of the tube goes in the water...
You gotta purge it, girl, or else you're gonna suck
really?
in that water. Oh, for sure.
I thought
we're doing a lesson later. We're gonna go.
See, that's the thing. It's scary. What if you just like accidentally?
It really is like you have
give
to
me some
thinking.
Goggles and then I'll go down for a couple minutes. Not a couple minutes. I'll go down for like a few seconds and then I'll come back up.
Okay,
not a couple minutes.
Hold on, Michael Phelps. Hold on.
No. Gosh, but. Like, whenever I go to look for shark teeth or something, everybody's always talking about how you have to go in the water to find the, like, actual good ones. Yeah. And I'm like, great point. If only I could
but
do
honestly,
that.
like, all the shark teeth are off of, well, not all of them, but most of them, right, are right off the Gulf.
Yeah.
And that's some murky water, girl.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't even snorkel
and
it,
the
honestly.
beach that I go to is, like, really like kind of rough water,
girl. Those rocks over there,
I don't want to go in there.
They're dangerous.
On the scuba diving, do you have like a favorite thing to see while you're out in the water? Of course you go to lots of different places, so I'm sure it changes, but is there like a like top, like when you see this you know that this is like the best day, or like question. A great memory, or
oh my god, I actually haven't been certified very long. I've only been certified for about 3 years now. Because I was also in the same boat. I'm like, if I can see everything from the top, I don't want to have to pay money to go below. You know what I mean? Like, it's too expensive. But I think, especially when the visibility is so clear and you can see, like, 50 feet away. I mean, I love spotted eagle rays. I think those are, like, my favorite. I haven't gone scuba diving with whale sharks, but I've snorkeled with whale sharks. I've snorkeled with manta rays in Hawaii before.
Wow.
But scuba diving, it's kind of just like, there's so many small things too that I like would have never seen if I wasn't really close to the bottom, like where we find all the shark teeth. Like the massive sea cucumbers or the sea stars, or just like small things that I just get like so excited about, because like you don't see it from up there. Like when you're snorkeling, you can see, like, the megafauna. You can see the bigger animals. And so when you can go really, like, lower, you can see all the small things. And I think that's, like, probably my favorite part.
Yeah, that's a great answer. The last episode that we recorded was with someone who studies queen conch. And he was talking about seeing them hopping along the bottom because they'll literally hop along the sand. God. And he said that was his favorite thing.
I need his contact. Because I love the queen conch. Like, she has been such a big part of my educational journey since the summertime. Yeah, I mean, like, I was never a sheller before. I didn't know anything about shelling. And then getting involved in the shelling community, especially in Southwest Florida, they're, like, huge about shelling over there. And then getting to learn the different species and what they eat and, like, how they move around in their life cycle. Oh, my God. The queen conch, that's why she gets her name. She is the queen. Like, she is so cool. And, like, the fact that they can go from microscopic animals to, like, this big with the shell, I just can't. Yeah. Like, that is just, I can't. Nature is so amazing.
The same shell their whole life, too. That's something that I like kind of knew but only like really thought of more recently is that snails, when they're babies, they have their teeny tiny shell, but then when they grow up, it's the same shell, they just like grow from it.
Like I can't, it does not work in my brain.
So they still have that little teeny shell that they had at the beginning.
Like if you like look at the spiral, like if you cut one in half and you look at the spiral, you can see like its first full shell. Like I think that is just so cool.
Yeah.
Like I want to be a mollusk. Are you joking? Like I want to be a queen conch.
That's what you would choose to be if you were something in the ocean.
Yeah, like if I was like an alebrije in the future, like you know, if I passed away and became like someone's, you know, little guide.
Yeah.
A queen conch for sure.
Okay. My answer is always jellyfish. I want no brain. I want to float.
No brain.
I just want to be carried around wherever I'm going.
What kind of jelly would you be?
And maybe like a moon jelly.
Okay,
I don't want the super long tentacles. I just want to be just
a
little,
you're floating.
Gelatinous ball.
Yeah, I was gelatinous. No, brain is killing me. That's so funny. Like, I don't need to think about snorkeling. I'm just there.
Yeah. I'll see whatever the water wants me to see.
Float with it.
Yeah. I saw a reel, I'm pretty sure it was a reel of yours recently that was talking about like ethical shelling.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, kind of like, it really started for me over the summer. Oh, actually, no. It started during the hurricanes, when we had our 2 hurricanes last year. Technically 3 with Debbie, right? She was a strong one. I went shelling for the first time because I couldn't go shark tooth hunting.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I moved over to that coast was to go shark tooth hunting because it was so much fun. I was like, okay, if the Gulf is crazy right now, what else can I do to connect me with the ocean? And I started going shelling with these amazing companies in Southwest Florida. And I was learning so much about the species, and I was learning about what to collect, what not to collect, how that all works. And then I ended up becoming a snorkel shell guide in the Florida Keys this summer, which was so awesome. Like, getting paid to shell. That sounds super fun. Come on. Dream job.
To shell in the Keys.
That's
also.
What I'm saying. Like, it's so cool. And so I being in the marine science background, I really, really wanted to take it seriously about shelling consciously and not overtaking. And I think seeing the people on my boat that, fly in from different states, they're like, we want to shell. But it's like, you have to be aware that, like, you're taking from an ecosystem. And so ethical shelling, it looks different to everybody, but to me, I never take live animals. I never take a shell that's occupied, even if that means that there's like a little damselfish like swimming around because she's got her eggs in there. It's not worth it to me, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the ecosystem right there. Yeah. That's like a whole new life being ready to then live in the ocean. I don't overtake. I don't know if you saw my shelf.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like a lot of people think that when I post about my shells that I keep every single one, but I actually just use them to educate, and then in the rest of my video I just like throw it down. And then also giving shells away that I don't use. So whether that's giving it back to the ocean, or I actually give a lot of my shells to educators. Like, a lot of my classmates are still in the K through 12 space, and so I actually have like a little care package in my car still that I need to give to one of my classmates, but to use them as educational tools in their classroom too. Because I mean, I feel like a lot of people in marine science overlook mollusks. Like, it's always one of the like one slide out of like the 30 slide lecture, you know what I mean? So I think it's nice to bring a little piece of the ocean to their classroom, especially to students like we talked about earlier that don't have access to that and would have never seen that if it wasn't in their classroom. So that's what ethical shelling means to me.
Awesome. Yeah. There was something you said that I was going to pick up on, but now I've forgotten.
See, that's why I'm a yapper. This is bad for us.
No, yapping, it's good. Let me see if I can remember. Or it might not have even been a big point. I was going to talk about how other animals use the shells after the snails are done using them. Yeah,
especially hermit crabs. Like, we have a lot in the Keys for sure. And honestly, on the other coast, like the East Coast, they have a lot of little hermit crabs too. But they don't obviously use the bivalves, right? Because they break off really easily. But they'll use a lot of the spiral shells, like queen conchs or whelks or pear whelks. They use those to survive, and they're obviously different than mollusks because they don't have a shell when they're born. Like, they have to keep finding new shells. Like, they're renting, right? They're like looking around, finding a place to rent.
And they can't find a really nice one and stick with that their whole lives.
No,
because
they keep growing. Yeah, they keep growing. And that was something that we saw a lot of in the Keys. And another thing too is obviously fish use them as either a way of protection or a way to like lay their eggs. Yeah. And one of the biggest species that loves to hide in the queen conch is actually toadfish.
Oh my god, I love a toadfish.
And that's what I'm saying. How crazy too that like Dr. Cardilano, like, she's a toadfish queen, and now I'm like seeing toadfish all the time. Yeah. And that so they love it. They love the protection in there because they love the bottom. They're like bottom dwellers. Yeah. So, they'll stay in the queen conch shells too.
That's great. I'm thinking of the animals that we have at the Discovery Center. We have a toadfish. We have a giant red hermit crab who's actually in a shell, a lot like this one.
Oh my god!
Except
give him the new one.
It's like he's like this
huge.
big.
Yeah, he's huge. Okay.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a girl. Her name is Herculina. She was Hercules before, but then we discovered, and so we changed it a little bit.
She's queen energy.
But we have like a lot of random little shells sprinkled throughout our tanks so that different animals can use them. Like,
that's cool.
Even our sea urchins will pick up shells and
oh my god,
with
the hats, and that's what I'm saying. That's my favorite thing to see when I'm down there. Like, I'm like, oh my god, look at your little outfit.
I know. We have two kinds of sea urchins, and one of them doesn't have that behavior, but one of them does, and it's always so funny to see them next to each other because it's like they're so different.
Fashionista.
And, yeah.
I did have a friend who worked in an urchin lab, and they would like literally create like small top hats, and like that's so cute.
We gave them like little witch hats and pumpkins and stuff for Halloween. It was really cute.
Like, I love your costume, queen. That's so cute.
Yeah. Let's see. Next, I want to we'll talk more about like the education with kids in a little bit. But first, I'm kind of thinking of your experience with being like a shell guide and all of that as another like form of education with whoever you're out there guiding, I guess. Can you talk about that and how you see that as another way of informal education or how it kind of works in that way?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you asked this question because I feel like right now a lot of people are really only getting their like shelling information online. And what was so cool about my job this summer was that being in the marine science field, I was able to offer new perspectives that these people might not have been able to have access to. And so when we were shelling, we'd see like, I don't know, like a live flamingo tongue. Have you seen a live flamingo tongue before?
No.
Girl, I need to show you a picture. It's like the coolest thing because you'd think like when you think of a mollusk, right? You think that the live part of the animal is underneath the shell.
Yeah.
Flamingo tongues go outside of their shell. And so they have like these really cool polka dots outside of their shell. And like someone that had seen that, they'd be like, oh, what is that plant? Like what is part of that plant that's hanging around? And it's just the coolest thing. And I think too, obviously the ethical shelling aspect of everything, like I'm teaching people from all over the country about ethical shelling and then hoping that they can take what they've learned from our shelling tours and pass it on to other people that might not have experienced that before. And I think that was the coolest part. And a lot of the people that came on our tours also like have never snorkeled before.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, wait a minute, why did you sign up for this snorkel?
I've heard of some people going on like shark tours and not even having really experienced swimming.
Yes. So that was also kind of a really cool aspect of like, this is the first time that they're snorkeling and I get to experience that. Like I'm with them and I get to like guide them through what's going on. And even honestly, when we had some mishaps or when there was like an issue going on, like one of our guests got stung by a fireworm.
Ooh.
And he was like freaking out, you know, like, what is this? And so then I got to educate him about what a fireworm was, but also in the process of like, are we going through shock right now? Like what's happening? But I mean, like, then you're learning to be aware of what not to touch or what not to, you know, you're learning so many new things being under there. And we're out there from like 4 hours to 8 hours sometimes. And so we get to see dolphins or we get to see sea turtles and like, you know, people from like Wisconsin that were flying in to do that. Like they don't get to see that all the time. And so just being with people that don't get to see that, I'm like educating them on what it's like to be in the ocean for a full day. Like that's so much fun.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's like informal like this, where it's just like we can just talk about anything. It's not like I'm sitting here with a projector up and like lecturing them about different species. Like they got to see it right then and there and like holding them and seeing them. It was just, I can't wait to go again next summer.
Yeah. And also being in that sort of like environment, even if they're not learning necessarily like all the information and facts about things, they're having an experience that will stick with them, and then maybe in the future they'll go and they'll be like, I wonder this question about the sea turtles or this shell or
and that was one thing too, like when I got into the education space, like I always wanted to be that stepping stone to somebody wanting to be a part of the marine science field, especially because it's not a very diverse field. And I think it's kind of slowly getting to that point, but like, how amazing is it to have more women in STEM because of some small experience like snorkeling in the Keys for 4 hours, like with me? Like, what? That's so cool to me. I can't.
Yeah. And sometimes STEM or marine science feels a little inaccessible, being part of like the science world, but it's really depending on like what necessarily you want to do. Yeah. There are so many different ways to go into it. So 100%. Seeing those different settings definitely helps kind of broaden the view of that.
And I feel like the world is changing so much right now. Like, we had so many people on our tours that were like in their 40s, and they were like, wait, I kind of want to quit my job and like go into, and I'm like, yes! Yeah. Like, quit your job, go to ocean science, girl. Like, yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. I always try to tell people too, like, it's never too late. You know, like, I feel like a lot of people will like go into business or something that they think is the right path to take just because of, you know, what the world is like right now. But the ocean needs us. And like, it's so inspiring to see people in their late years come back to what they were so inspired by when they were kids. I just think that's so beautiful.
Yeah, that is really sweet.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I always tear up like, I love you guys, like, come on.
Okay, so in your PhD, right, is what you're doing for your program right now. That's a lot of school to get you to here. But you're studying more so early education, right?
Yeah. So that's what's so different about, so usually PhD programs, everyone is different, right? So sometimes, especially in the marine science era, you know, you have most people are in labs, but because I'm moving towards the education space, it's mostly like not as much research, but I mean, it is research, but it's not, it doesn't feel like research because you're just talking with the kids, you're having fun, like, you know, something like that. So yeah, I'm in the education space and I never want to leave. I love it here.
That's amazing. So what's your general, like, kind of guiding question or theme or goal in this?
Yeah, it's constantly changing.
I'm sure that's like, a huge question.
Yes. And when I first started my PhD too, my advisor was always saying, like, you know, you're saying something now, Cam, but like in 2 weeks you're gonna change your mind. And when I tell you, Harmony, my research question changed like probably 80 times, quite literally 80 times.
And as it needs to.
I know, right? I know. And like, with how things were moving with like social media and then how things were going in my snorkel tours, like everything was changing so much. But right now, I mean, I think the majority of what I do, like the umbrella, stays the same, right? Like, I want to work in informal education. I want to work with students in minoritized communities, then under-resourced communities, because that's where I came from. Like, I came from a very city space where we didn't get that, you know, opportunity. And so right now I'm working with after-school programs, and I love it so much. These kids are feral, girl. Yeah. Because it's like they just went to school for 8 hours, and they're like, Miss Cam, we don't want to learn right now. we just learned for 8 hours. We don't want to learn again. So it kind of gives me a challenge to make things more fun. And so my focus is experiential learning. I don't know if you've heard of that before. But it's basically like it's like an experience. Like, they don't want to be sitting there learning on a lecture. It's kind of like the snorkel tours. Like, I bring in shark teeth, I bring in shells. We do really cool like sea turtle plastic pollution, you know, activities. And so we're always outside. We're always having fun. And my goal, which hopefully by tomorrow we'll find out once I apply for candidacy tomorrow, but I'll get to start doing my own research without having to like mold into what a professor would want me to do. And it's kind of like I have free reign, hopefully, starting tomorrow.
Wow.
Pray for me.
Good luck. That sounds really, I remember being in after school programs as a kid, and like, it was very much a feral kind of feeling. Yeah, totally nuts. But it was more, it definitely didn't have to do with the ocean. I would have like loved that, or loved like it being combined with like learning about something. But we were more just doing like basketball in the gym. Yeah,
kickball, totally. Yes.
Let's play this board game.
Yes, and that's what they're doing too. And honestly, they're so bad. Like, I work with like upper elementary, lower middle, so like 5th and 6th graders. And this is when they start getting on their phones, right?
Like, yeah.
Miss Cam, I want to follow you on TikTok. Miss Cam, what's your Instagram? Miss Cam, what's your phone number? No, I can't do that. But also, like, let's put our phones away and, like, go experience nature. Like, that's what you're saying. Like, I remember in after-school programs, I was playing kickball. I was playing, what was that, Foursquare? What's that thing that we used to...
Yeah, Foursquare.
Yeah, and so... I also wish that, like, I had something where it was, like, ocean-related, and they get really excited about it, especially, like, being so close. They are literally, I'm not kidding, Harmony, 10 minutes from the ocean, and majority of them have either not seen it or have never learned to swim. Like, I can't even, like I can't get over that. Like, they have this amazing... They have Key Biscayne National Park 10 minutes from their house, and they've never seen it before. And that's, like, something that I hold so near and dear to my heart. Like, I want to make it more accessible. I want to make it so that these kids can see themselves and picture themselves in the marine science field, because that's what I would have wanted. And that's what, like, my classmates when I was in high school would have wanted, too. And so it's just, I don't know, seeing them smile and getting hugs from little kids.
Oh, gosh.
Girl, like, that's, like, my favorite thing in the world is, like, when kids come up to you and they just, like, love you so much.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I actually love you. Okay, I love you, but not when you're on your phone.
Is it, like, the same kids every day? Like, is it kind of the same class for the whole school year that you're working with, or do you kind of have, like, multiple groups of kids that you work with at the moment?
In the past, because I've only done,
really
like...
random question.
No, it's not. No. It's in the past, and it was what I worked with my advisor. It was, like, February to, I think, maybe May. So it was, like, one semester. And those were the same kids, but there were, like, multiple age groups in the after-school program. So what was really cool about that is that the younger kids would see what I was doing with the 5th graders, and they would get really excited to do that next year.
Yeah.
And so it was, like, kind of, like, lighting up curiosity for them. And so, yeah, I would usually stick with, like, the 5th and 6th graders, and then obviously they move on, and then we work with the next grade that comes up. But it's been a while because the place that I worked with, they actually closed down for a few months because in Miami, there's a lot of things going on all around Miami. Climate gentrification in general, especially with all the development going on in Miami. It's such a blooming city in a very small area. And we had city developers come in and say that it was, like, not deemed safe for the kids. But it was mostly because they wanted to develop there.
Yeah.
So they worked so hard to get it back open. We opened a GoFundMe. A lot of people were donating, and it's officially back open. So I'm excited to go back there and see the kids. But yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. But they're messaging me off their mom's TikTok. So
oh my god.
I can't. Like, block. I can't speak to you.
I'll see you at school,
yeah,
or like, don't worry, I'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I guess if they are gonna be on a phone, maybe watch the video about the ocean.
Yeah, I'm like, watch my ethical shelling videos. Stop texting me. Like,
yeah.
You know, I feel like a lot of kids, especially now, and I'm kind of glad that we didn't have that experience of, like, I'm glad that TikTok was not.
Yeah.
Like, I refused to download TikTok into, like, I started TikTok not even a year ago.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I knew I was going to get addicted to it.
When they shut down TikTok, I deleted it, and then when it came back, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to re-download it.
I'm just glad of you.
I do a little, like, Instagram reel scrolling now, but not nearly as much as TikTok.
Oh, see, especially now with, like, Dancing with the Stars on. I'm like, I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, did Andy make it again?
And he did, right?
He did. Flavor Flav canceled.
I don't even watch that show, but I see stuff about it all the time.
You needed to watch last week's episode. That was crazy.
I watched the reels when they're about Mr. Irwin, and that's really it. Because I have to support the wildlife king. Like,
you're real for that. You know what? I can't say anything because I'm going to be 27, but he is a fantastic dancer.
Yeah.
Love him. And he's looking for his American baddie.
I know. I literally cannot escape that online. Like,
you know what, Harmony? The key is you need to move to Australia. That's the key. He wants his American
there is
baddie.
Too much scary wildlife in Australia.
Girl, you work with snakes.
Snakes are nice. Give me, like, tarantulas and spiders and things like that.
Like,
no, thank you. Absolutely not.
You're like, that's where I end it. That is it.
Yeah, bugs, not for me. But hand me a snake, I'm totally fine with that.
You know what? Robert would take very good care of you if you went to Australia.
I'll pet an alligator or crocodile.
Oh, yeah, say less. I'd do anything for him.
Oh, my gosh. Let's see.
I know, see, this is like why we can't have formal things. We're just yapping about Dancing with the Stars.
And that's okay. This will be like the fun little commercial break of the podcast. But also with like, guys, the education is really important.
Yeah,
like,
also, Robert Irwin is the best.
And there's so much great wildlife out in the ocean. Like, but also... Have you seen the reels about Robert Irwin?
No, literally, he's all over my... That's why I'm so thankful that I didn't have TikTok when I was younger. Or even like a year ago. I'm so glad I didn't.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I love getting to see kids come into the Discovery Center and get excited about the animals. Like, sometimes... the majority of the time, they're really excited. Yeah. Sometimes we get a kid who comes in and is like, frogs, snakes. Like, I had a kid, this was like months ago, but he kept repeating, snakes. Like, he was so excited.
What? That's so cute.
Yeah. And they'll like run around and point at stuff that they find. And
oh, see, I love that.
It's so adorable.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So I actually, when did I do this? I think a couple months ago in August. Wait, what are we in? Oh my God,
November. It's almost 2026.
The fact that I'm still holding on to summer, I'm like, you get over yourself. I went scuba diving at the Georgia Aquarium in August. Yeah. And, you know, everyone like gets so excited when I ask them, oh my God, you swim with the whale sharks, this, that. And I'm like, no, literally my favorite part was swimming across the glass and waving to the kids through the... I literally cried in my mask. Like, truly. They were like waving to me, like sending hearts. And I was like...
They were probably thinking, I can't wait to grow up and do that.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I want.
That's amazing.
Like, I want students to look up to somebody, and not even me, just somebody in general that makes science more accessible. Yeah. And be like, oh my gosh, I actually really can do that. Yeah. Like, what's holding me back from that? Why can't I do that? Yeah. Especially in Atlanta, like a landlocked, wait, is Georgia? No, it's not landlocked. Cross that out. They have an ocean. But Atlanta is a city where... It's like hours, I think, away from the ocean over there. And it's like, there were so many kids there. And it was so amazing. And I think what was cool, too, is like, I got to swim with one of the whale sharks before he passed away.
That was just before? Because that happened kind of recently.
Yeah, just before. And I got to do like a little behind the scenes tour because one of my friends, Danielle, she works in the education space in Georgia. Or in the aquarium, and so she like took me to their classrooms that they do, or like they do summer camps, after school programs, stuff like that. And it's like, this is why I love aquariums and museums so much. And I feel like there's a little bit of controversy with it.
Yeah, I feel like less so now, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had, and I was thinking about, you know, making a series on my TikTok too of like being in the gray area where it's like, okay, it's topics like dredging or shelling or museums and aquariums, because people are like, this is captivity, but it's like, you're never going to see a landlocked student, a city student, swimming with a manta ray. Like, what are the odds of that? What's the percentage of them being able to do that in their future? But, like, a $15 admission ticket and they get to see that and 2 whale sharks? Yeah. Like, come on. That's making life more accessible for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a great experience for people to be able to access, but also it comes down to like how that aquarium does its work, because the majority of aquariums now, I don't have like the hard numbers on this, but from what I've gathered, the majority of aquariums and even zoos kind of now have a major conservation aspect. 100%, and the people who work there are really dedicated to the care of the animals. They're making sure that they have like the best habitat that they could have in that space, and the animals aren't just like plucked out of the ocean and put where they are.
Yeah, and I like had asked those specific questions when I went to the aquarium, like, where did you get all of your animals from? Especially because right before I went, probably like a week before, was when FWC had signed off on the capture of a manta in the Gulf to be sent to, what was it, Saudi Arabia, or was it Dubai?
I saw about that. I don't remember exactly.
But I was like, oh my god, now I'm freaking out because like I'm about to promote scuba diving at the Georgia Aquarium. Where did they get their mantas from? Where did they get this from? And I learned that the whale sharks that they had were actually saved from the fish market in Taiwan, and I didn't know that either. Wow. And so then it's like now I'm getting to educate myself, and then I get to share that information too for people that have those questions online. And I think it's just so important to make marine science more accessible in those spaces. Like, I don't see no one coming from Robert Irwin's throat working with crocodiles in a zoo. Come on. Come on. So
it's all about how you do it, really.
100%. Like, there are some really awful zoos and aquariums, and luckily, like, the one that is next to the University of Miami is being shut down. Thank God, finally. But, you know, I think it does take a really important team like the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. They're amazing.
I wanted to talk about that too because of your connection with
Oh my god,
Winter.
I know! Oh my god, I miss Winter.
I know. I did see Winter after I moved here. Yeah.
People when they rescued Winter, for example, like her tail had to be completely amputated after it was stuck in the crab trap, and like, what are you gonna do? Bring her back in the ocean with a prosthetic? Back. Like, no, you're giving her a better life, a longer life, by letting her stay at the Marine Aquarium. And she inspired so many people, including myself. Like, I would not be in this space if it wasn't for her. Like, I love her story so much. I was obsessed with that movie, quite literally. I watched it once and I was like, yep. Yeah. I'm gonna be a dolphin trainer. I'm gonna do this. I was like so into it. And I think like going there and seeing not only her story, but also like meeting all the other dolphins that she lived with, and then meeting the otters, and then meeting, like, they have so many amazing things. And I just, like, I don't know, that's why I believe that those spaces are so important, and they really do inspire students to be a part of the marine field in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And especially having the movie, like, that was a major part of it.
Oh yeah, I love Morgan Freeman. Love Winter in that movie. Come on, like, we should rewatch it.
I know. I was just thinking, I have not seen it in so long. Like, I remember, like, very clearly in my brain some, like, scenes from it. Yeah. And I need to go back and, like, experience the whole thing again.
I know. You know what's crazy too, and I don't know if this actually happened. I could be making this up, but I think that Dr. Cardilano brought some of those actors as like a video recording for the outreach events that we used to do. Oh, for those kids. And nice. I'm like, I want a video from the actor. I want a video from Morgan Freeman.
But do kids these days even know?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is hype. Like, how are you not getting so excited about this? I'm like, these are icons. Like, you guys don't understand.
Yeah. What would be like the equivalent today of like?
Oh, like
all I can think of is like, no, like an ocean, like, all I can think of is animated movies, like Moana or something like that.
Definitely Moana. Yeah. But they don't have like those live actions, like, and that was like really her, like, she was in that movie, Dolphin, like, Winter, that was her. It wasn't even fake. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah. Well, let me see, like,
you're like, we be yapping. I don't even know what time it is.
We've been talking about a lot of stuff. I just want to make sure that I haven't missed anything.
I can't believe you do this all on your own. That is like women in STEM for real.
Yeah. I didn't even, like, set out to do something like this. I just applied for an internship that I wanted something that was like kind of creative and kind of mixing in marine science, and then this popped up and I was like, and it was originally not advertising like be the host of the podcast. And I was like, okay, I'll apply for that and see what happens. Yeah. Public speaking, not always my jam.
Really? Oh my, you like seem very comfortable in this space.
I cannot believe that.
No, truly. And you know what's so cool? Like, I feel like things are changing in the marine science world where you're like, oh, it's not just in a lab all the time. It's not just in a boat all the time. Like, it can be podcasts. It can be social media. It can be movies. Like, it can be all of these really creative spaces that people who were in those spaces before can utilize that to then bring to the marine science field. Like, come on. Yeah. That's so cool.
That's one thing that I like about doing this is that I can have guests on that have, like, that work on, like, a huge range of different things. Yeah. And, like, one of my first episodes, we were talking about Finding Nemo and like the science in it. And
oh my God, what?
All of that, yeah.
That's
with
so cool.
Dr. Stephen Kajiura.
Oh,
he studies sharks and blacktip sharks, actually in Miami, I think.
Oh my God, what?
Or maybe not Miami, somewhere around here.
That's so cool.
He's really cool, but then he is really tied into like the movie media kind of world, and like scientists being a part of like fact checking and things like that.
Yeah,
anyway,
I love that.
But then I also talk to people who have like heavy like lab work or heavy field work, and it's really cool to get to see all of that, because I do like science, and I do like, you know, or when I used to be able to be doing like science projects, being in the lab as part of school. That's really fun.
You liked the lab?
I mean, well, after a point. See, there's a reason that I didn't study marine science and I studied environmental studies.
You know what? There it is. That'll do it.
I like getting little morsels here and there.
Yes, I do not. Like the chem lab?
No.
No, I feel
But in high school,
Yeah,
like,
because that was like the fun part of school, you know, like getting that hands-on experience.
Yeah, but then I get to see how that's like applied to the environment by talking to people who do it. Let's see. The last kind of point that this doesn't have to do with anything that we're talking about right now, but the last point that I want to make sure that we kind of touch on, I think we talked a little bit about like where you're from and the ocean being accessible. And we've talked about you being in your PhD now, but then also you're a first-gen student, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about that a little bit, or kind of like what led you to coming to Florida to go to school, or where did you go? What's your kind of story?
I love telling the story, not because I'm full of myself, sometimes I am, but it's just so, I think what's really cool about my story is that it can inspire people or students who think that they can't do something, like they actually can. So being a first-gen student means that both of my parents have not gone to college. I was the first one in my family to go. And when I was in 7th grade, I watched Dolphin when it first came out. And I was obsessed. And I was like, yes, I need to move to the ocean. I need to work in rescue and rehab. I need to work with dolphins. Like, that is my future. I'm, like, setting it out right now. Then I moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
A landlocked state, making no sense. But I actually was supposed to go to Eckerd, which is where you went,
yeah,
right?
I went to Eckerd.
That's so crazy. I loved Eckerd so much.
Yeah.
And I actually was offered a full ride to play softball there, but they didn't have a football team.
And that was... No.
No, I swear.
I cannot believe it.
I turned it down because they didn't have a football team.
You could just, like, hop over to UT or something to watch football.
I was like, no. They didn't have football. No, I'm not going.
Oh, my God.
So I stepped foot at Colorado State University, and I fell in love. And honestly, it's kind of like, it kind of geared me to where I am now, because I got to experience the mountain life and figure out if it was something for me. And the mountain life is so beautiful, honestly.
Yeah.
I found out I needed an ocean, but I loved it so much. I majored in biology, minored in Spanish. Biology is so hard. Like, honestly, I wish I took environmental studies like you did. I failed Gen Chem twice. Like, and this was the hardest thing, especially being first gen. Like, I can't go to my parents and ask for advice. I couldn't, like, ask them how to study or what's the best way to do this, or like making friends in college. Like, I had to figure it out all on my own. Like, I had no guidance, and it was tough, like making friends thousands of miles away from my home, getting acquainted
maybe
getting familiar with you know, the space. And I had the opportunity to study abroad with my program out there, and we studied abroad in Todos Santos, which is in Baja California, and I got to swim with my whale sharks for the first time out there.
Wow.
And it kind of just reminded me, like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do, and this was just a stepping stone for me. So I ended up graduating early, which was incredible. I graduated in 2020, so I didn't get to walk, but December of 2020, and I was like, you know what, I'm really loving the animal care space. Like, that's when I was like, oh, I really love zoos and aquariums. Like, if I'm meant to be in Colorado for the rest of my life, or landlocked states for the rest of my life, I'll have that experience. So I applied for a master's program, and I don't know what happened. Things got like messed up in communication, but I ended up on the wait list, but I didn't know until like 4 months later that I was on the wait list. So I didn't get in, and I was horrified because I'm like, I only applied to this program, which usually when you apply to a master's program from the same university as you had your bachelor's, you're kind of like, you're gonna get in. But I didn't get in, and I was like, what is going on? So frantically looking up master's programs, and my mom was like, well, you know, the University of Miami has a really cool master's program. And I was like, Miami's bougie. I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I was supposed to go to Eckerd, which is like the small school, right? Like, I love the Gulf side. I'm like, I don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
And I somehow found like the director of the graduate studies phone number. I don't know. But I texted him, and I was like, yes, I was like, hey, Josh, like, I was like, I don't know if, like, you guys are still taking applications, whatever. I applied, and I got in, like, literally the next day.
Oh, my God.
And so I had to pick up and move everything from Colorado to Florida within 1 week because we started, like, literally right after. And so, obviously, being a first-gen student during your bachelor's is hard, but then, like, being a first-gen student in your master's program is even harder because then it's like, okay, really now no one knows what it's like because there's not as many people getting their master's as there are getting their bachelor's. And I did a 2-year program there, I think, or a year and a half. I'm pretty fast when it comes to school because I'm like, I'm too impatient. Like, I gotta do fun things. And that's when I met Dr. Cardellano, and I fell in love with the education space. And then, I don't know, I feel like every time I was going to a different stage in my academic career, it was like not supposed to happen the way I thought it was going to be. So I was supposed to work with someone in the STEM department for my PhD, and we had like talked, and he was like, we're good. And then a month before school started, he like left the university and was like, sorry, you can't get in anymore. And I was like, what is with these people? So I actually had the most amazing person in my life, and I get so emotional talking about him. Like, I love him so much. His name is Dr. Jason Mizell. He works in the literacy department, or he did work at the literacy department at the University of Miami in our PhD program. He was like, I know nothing about science, but I do know a lot about young kids, and I know a lot about children's books, and I know a lot about reading, and I think that could be beneficial for you, and maybe we can work together and figure this out. So he was teaching me stuff, and I was teaching him stuff, and we were just, like, the best team ever. He works for a high school now in Atlanta, so I got to see him when I went scuba diving for at the aquarium, and now I'm back in the STEM field, which is nice. They kind of shifted me where I was supposed to go in the beginning. But that's another thing. Being first gen in a PhD program, there's, like, 2% of people in the world get their PhD, so then I'm like, okay, now I'm really alone. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like things have shifted in my family a little bit because now it's like my parents were always the ones teaching me things, and now I get to teach them things. And I think, too, being in the social media space, I can now give back to them, like, what they've done for me my whole life. And I just got my dad scuba certified, and I'm taking him to the Bahamas in a couple weeks.
Fun.
And, like,
oh, my God.
It's just, like, experiences that I get so emotional thinking about it because I love my family so much. But, I'm just so thankful that all of these opportunities were a way of me to be able to give back to my family that have done so much for me, especially being a first-gen student where it's like I had no idea what I was doing, and now it's kind of like all coming together.
Yeah, that is so sweet.
Yeah, sorry, that was like so long.
No.
And now we're all crying in the cloud.
I know. No, that's a really interesting story to hear.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, like, my vision of education was my grandfather. He had years of school. He studied to be a librarian. He studied to be a lawyer. Like,
oh my God.
He was a school librarian at one point, which was also like got into like teaching a little bit. I don't know. His main thing was being a lawyer, but like he was kind of like a professional student.
Yeah, that's what I want for the rest of my life.
For a long time. And so my grandfather was always that picture of like, this is where I can go. I was always really interested in going to school more. Yeah. And like either for marine science, which is like what I ended up following primarily, kind of, but then also, well, I'm thinking about it now and not really. I kind of like split everything. My other like big interest was creative writing.
Oh,
and so,
I
like,
could see that for you.
Yeah, I kind of split everything. Like my major was environmental studies, but then I also had creative writing and anthropology as minors, and so I kind of like, yeah, anthropology is really fun.
It's so cool. Like, wait, I love that. Now I want to interview you. Like, this is so cool. I feel like those are perfect, like a little trio, like that triangle of like information. I feel like they work so well together.
Yeah, there's so many like especially being at Eckerd, like it really like makes sense like how different focuses can connect together.
Yeah.
And like I'm really happy that I ended up doing like those 3 things.
Yeah.
But then like thinking of if I were to go on to do more education, what would I be doing?
I know.
And like my brain is like, well, I want to learn more about creative writing, so maybe I'll go in that direction, but I probably won't go back to school at the moment. But it's always been something that's like it's been a big part of like
of your life,
what I envisioned as a kid.
Yeah. And you know what, so many people go back later on in life. Like, I'm the youngest in my program. Like literally the majority of my classmates are in their 40s and 50s who have had like 20 years of teaching experience. So when I stepped into that classroom for the first time, I was horrified. I'm like, oh my God, these people know so much more than me. Like, I'm not bringing any aspect to anything. But none of them have a marine science background. Yeah. All of them are either like social studies, or a lot of them do engineering, or like in the med space. And so I got some of them certified, and now we're all diving together.
Oh my God.
That's so cool.
That's so fun.
Yeah, but I think it's nice that you got to look up to your grandpa and like see how the education space can look so different for everybody. And it's like, it's nice that you didn't feel pressure. Like, I think sometimes being so type A and like wanting to be a perfectionist, I felt a lot of pressure that I put on myself. Like, my family did not put pressure on me.
I'm such a perfectionist.
Yes, and it's like, I want to prove to them that I can do it. I want to prove to everybody that being a first-gen student, I still can do it. I can still make it. And then now I get to use that story and share that with my students who are in the exact same boat as me. And I'm like, no, you actually can. Like, truly. And I never thought this until this year, but you can truly do anything you put your mind to. Like, honestly, I never saw myself in the social media space. I was a theater kid, though. But it's crazy. Like, just do it. Just try it. Take the leap, you know? And the worst that could happen is a no, right? A no. So.
Yeah. I think that's something that Maria talked about on her episode, is like kids getting involved in her program, even if they're not going to like, even if marine science doesn't turn out to be their thing, they're experiencing it. They're like getting a little glimpse of it, and then they can go on and do something else.
Later when I was working with her for Ocean Explorers, we had like given them a pre and post survey, and we had asked a lot of the kids, like, what is your dream job? What do you want to see yourself as? And like literally the majority of them were like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be like a TikToker.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, like, I would always think like, shoot, this thing didn't work. I wanted everybody to say marine scientist. But like, I'm using social media. I'm using TikTok. I'm using YouTube to promote being in this field, so like they could do that too. Yeah. And it looks marine science is such a massive field. Like, you're talking about shark research, you're talking about seahorses, like there's so many different niches. Yeah. And it's so cool that like no matter what you do in this field, you can be a part of it.
Yeah. And you never know if you're gonna come back to it like later on in life.
Oh, and so many people do. Yeah. They're like, what am I doing? Like, that was my passion when I was younger. I always wanted to be a dolphin trainer. And it's like, why am I working at a desk, a 9 to 5? No, thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we talked about a lot. Is there anything like...
What time is it?
I mean, honestly, it hasn't been insanely long.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to like make sure that we haven't talked about, or that you just want to like end on?
I don't know. I think like just try something new. You know, you can do anything you put your mind to. And I think the most important thing that we have right now is technology. And if we're trying to educate people from around the world, or we're learning something from a different space, like, we can literally do that from our phones. And, like, that was the whole point of it. Social media, the whole point of it was to connect to people around the world. And I think that you can use that as a huge educational tool. And, just hang out with the kids. Gen Z is super fun.
Hang out with the kids, see what they say.
Yeah, they're
maybe
really
you'll learn
smart.
Something too. Yeah.
Honestly, like, I learned so much from them. It's, like, actually crazy.
Yeah, they can pull out some, like, really, like, random, like, niche facts about things.
And I'm like, hold on.
Thanks for telling me that.
Yes, like, I'm blocking you online, but thank you for telling me.
No, I'll have people come up and they start talking about, like, did you know that the horseshoe crab, blah, 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 and I'm like,
how did you know
thanks.
that?
I'm going to go tell the next person who, like...
Yes, but then also asking them where they learned it. And it's like, oh, I found it online, or I found it from my teacher. And then I'm like, okay, now we know where these outlets are. So it's so cool.
Awesome. Well, if people want to see more of you, where can they find you?
Oh, God, girl, I'm everywhere. I am on TikTok and Instagram. My handle is _Camshaw_ always. What am I going to do when I get my degree? Dr. Camshaw _ hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in South Florida and I run tours in the summertime and
awesome. And then for Shellphone, you can find us on Instagram at Shellphone Podcast or at Breach the Surface if you want to see our overall programs like Ocean Class, which we started up recently, which is fun. It's kind of more like a lecture activity type of thing for schools, but
oh my God, I'm so excited for you.
That's on there too.
Yay!
The end. Thank you. Thanks for joining us and coming in for an episode.
Of course.
Definitely.
I hope you enjoy your shark tea.
I'd say like most fun episode. Yes.
Oh my God, girl. Don't hype me up like that because I will get emotional.
I do say it relatively often, but this is different. I think like every episode is really fun, but these are so awesome.
Girl, I was thinking about making you a necklace too, like wrapping it, but I feel like you're so creative. Like that would be something that you'd like to learn to do.
I will keep it in my back pocket and I'll find something out, but it's very fun. There we go. On the camera.
Shark teeth. No, my kids love the shark teeth.
Yeah. I've only found like a few, I will say. Well, a few, okay, like a handful. Less than this, I would say I've found. When I was in school, I would go when I could, but after I graduated, I just,
girl, you're acting like your sister. You need to take time for yourself, and you need to go out there.
Literally, I'm always thinking like I need to go paddleboarding like next week. I need to like go do something, go to a beach or something. But then my days off come around, and I'm tired. Like, but now this is my chance to be inside and like to.
I know.
But I've been like yearning to go do something.
Come do it with me.
Yes.
I have like 80 freaking paddle boards at my house. Like, please take them.
Oh my gosh. I have my paddle board. Usually what I would do is keep it in the trunk of my car so that just like whenever
Smart.
like if I wanted to get that thing out, I would also have like a towel and a bathing suit and all that ready to go.
Your snorkel.
But it's not in there. Yep. I'll add a snorkel to the mix. But now it's like not in my car. So I need to like go back to that psychology of like I would do the same thing with homework, honestly. Like I'll bring it with me just in case, because if I don't bring it with me, I'm not going to do it. But I know. If it's there, maybe I will.
I know. Today I was like, do I bring my laptop because I need to like finish my edits that are due tomorrow to like send out my portfolio. And I was like, no, because I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Literally.